In a time of increased crime, there is no shortage of homes getting doorbell cameras. But these devices, while useful in crime prevention and even crime solving, also raise some privacy concerns among neighbors. Technology attorney Justin Daniels is here to talk through the issue since these devices seem like they're here to stay. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us, Justin.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We just kind of touched the tip of the iceberg there when it comes to benefits. We know even D.C. police offer kind of an incentive, rebate, if you install a private security camera on your property because it does help to solve some crimes. But the issue here is that you may have signed up for this, your neighbor not necessarily, right?
Yes, absolutely. The issue that you have, and I have cameras at my house, and what's interesting about it is, depending upon where you put your camera, the camera will show what's going on across the road, not only on the, driveway, but on your neighbor's yard as well. So as you correctly pointed out, that brings up an interesting issue of, well, what if something happens on my neighbor's property and the police come by and say, hey, do you happen to have ring footage of that? Can we see it? So that brings up an interesting balance of public safety versus privacy.
Yeah, I want to talk about the expectation of privacy and where that line, both literally and figuratively, starts. So if I'm someone across the street from a neighbor who has a camera, where should I reasonably expect some privacy?
I think where you, practically speaking, expect privacy is within your house, like having the camera being able to see inside of your house. Outside of your house, it's a little bit of a charcoal area and it's not entirely clear. And you and I aren't even talking about mobile platforms. I bet you the next time you go to a wedding, you'll see the photographer has a drone. All that is a mobile platform with a camera that can do the same exact thing.
Let's dive a little deeper into the legal stuff. First, I want to start with the the two-party consent states, right? I know it varies even in this region, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Does that play a part here on the audio front? Because I know in D.C. there was an issue with that. Does that play a role?
Yes, it can, because if you have audio and you're able to listen to conversations, there are certain states where it is only one party has to consent, meaning you, the owner of the audio system. And there are other states where it's like, nope, sorry, both parties have to consent. And so in those instances, you might find it much harder to be able to use that audio as, say, evidence for the police to investigate a crime.
Okay, so if you're recording audio, let's say in D.C., are you breaking the law, or is that just a matter of if there were a crime to happen, suddenly here we're deciding whether we can even use the audio portion of this evidence?
I think it's the latter of what you said. Really, what I think the issue we have here is, once again, technology is outpacing the law and our ability to think through these issues of privacy versus public safety, because you're going to see more and more cameras in public right-of-ways. I think we're going to see them in schools. And I think the real issue is a lot of people think, hey, this is public good. There's evidence out there that it really helps solve crimes. But at the same time, what about privacy?
Now, what are the laws being discussed, by the way, that you've seen to help laws catch up to technology?
It's a slow process, because what happens is the cameras have proliferated so quickly. I'm starting to see laws in some legislatures that try to deal with cameras in terms of, what are they allowed to get, what is available to the police. And so it really varies state by state. As you know, we have no overarching federal privacy law. It's really a state by state approach. And when we're dealing with these privacy issues, again, when it comes to cameras, it's more of a state by state approach when you think maybe this is something that we should look at as a federal approach. But as you know, in D.C., getting Congress to act is not the easiest thing to do.
Well, yeah. And you're right, though. I mean, we're only going to see more of this. It is remarkable how many things are captured on video. It can be incredibly helpful to police, but it can be a slippery slope. We got to wrap here, but just give us some examples of your concerns when it comes to, or the concerns of others when it comes to that slippery slope.
I'll give you a great example. So in my neighborhood, we have just outside of it, Flock safety cameras that have digital license plate technology. So they can scan a license plate and see, oh, the person who owns that car is wanted for some kind of violent crime, and the police aren't there, but you're able to track the vehicle. But at the same time, the police department knows exactly when I come in and out of my neighborhood. And if you track the GPS in my car, which isn't hard to do, now you begin to have a really specific profile of what I do all day. And that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, there's a lot to discuss there. I know privacy proponents have been sounding the alarm on a lot of that technology for a while. All right, technology attorney Justin Daniels, appreciate you breaking this down for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 7:36.